Hi, I'm Phil Vincent, one of the co-authors with Mike Corrigan and Doug Grove of Multidimensional Education, a common sense approach to data-driven thinking, a book that you really ought to have. In chapter 8 of our book, we write about common sense and character. But I want to tell you a story to kind of set the conditions of what I really want to emphasize in this. I work with Mike and Doug in multidimensional education, and we have assessed a lot of federal grants, especially focusing in character education. And in one of our grants, we were going to do what we do, assess a school. The teachers were bringing the boys and girls into an auditorium area that would be very conducive to doing one assessment and getting the kids then out of the auditorium. And of course their job is to come in, get the kids in there, and then to go ahead and leave. Well, they were bringing them in, and they were setting the kids down, and all of a sudden one teacher screamed at this one kid, "Hey, deaf kid, get down here so you can hear them when they're reading." Now, I know you're thinking, no, that couldn't happen. Scout's honor, it happened. Mike looked at this person and then, of course, realized what was going on, looked at the kid. Mike went down and actually talked to the student and said, "Hey, why don't you come up here on stage and sit near me? It'll help you hear what I'm reading." And the boy was fine with that. Meanwhile, Mike then told the teacher who had done that, "Please leave. Please leave." Now, they were going to leave. We don't have teachers in when we're doing the assessments. But literally, he told her at that moment, "It's time for you to leave now." So he helped escort her out, shut the door, and then did the assessment. After the assessment, Mike and the proctors helped the students leave. And there at the door was the principal and the teacher. And the principal wanted to talk to Mike because Mike had, quote unquote, been insulting to his teacher. Mike went ahead and said, "Well, let's talk about what happened." And she looked at the principal and said, "He threw me out. He made me leave." Mike said, "Well, yeah, I did make her leave. But why don't you back it up 30 seconds? Tell him why I made you leave." She didn't want to go there. But Mike, being someone who likes to help people who are struggling with their memory, remember something, he informed the principal of what she had said, and she did not deny it at all. The interesting thing is the principal looked at Mike and apologized, and we do not know what happened after that. But we did find out that this person who did that was a special ed teacher, and this child could have been one of her children. Hey, deaf kid. Now, we saw this happen in a fairly structured environment that most people would kind of want when visitors would come in to sort of have the school at its best. This happened in one school. You think this might happen elsewhere? You think that in all the schools in America there are people who are treating kids this way, who are, and this is important, modeling this type of behavior for every other child who was in that auditorium? What do you think they could have talked to their parents about that night? You see, most character is not taught, it is caught. We want you to think of character and to get beyond character light and get into character right. And that is, you need to think of the social and moral development of students, well, I prefer the word, the character development of students, in that it is not about a few words, it is not about putting posters up on the walls, it is about the relationships we have with boys and girls, it is about modeling, it is about being the person our dog thinks we are. If you have a dog, you know what I'm talking about. Your dog thinks you are the end-all, be-all, you're the kindest, most caring person. That's who I want to be around my students and other people. I will not always achieve it, but I want to try to be that way. We have in this chapter a quote, and I usually don't like to read quotes, but I really like this one, and I want to pound this one home. It makes perfect common sense. I like that. That if our classrooms are filled with a high percentage of students and teachers who show respect for each other, let's think about that, who show respect for each other, practice responsibility, show resilience, trust each other. You can trust me, I can trust you. Practice kindness. You think that would matter? The simply act of practicing kindness, of looking out for everyone. Serve each other and strive to develop moral and academic excellence. We just might develop a better climate for learning. I think that's it. And every one of us wants that. Now, I'm not asking you to be perfect. In this chapter, you're not going to be perfect. You have better days than other days. But we are asking that we strive to be the moral compass. So if we want to consider common sense in character education, character development, let us consider this. Matt Davison and Tom Lacona talked about performance character and moral character. This is worth considering. Performance character is effort, diligence, perseverance, and self-discipline. This doesn't mean you'll always achieve your goals, but you act with fidelity, you develop habits of perseverance. As an athlete, as a musician, as a scholar, you are working at it. But it's not enough. You can be excellent in all these things and still not be a good person. Moral character asks that we act with integrity, justice, caring, fairness, kindness. You put those two together and you have common sense character. We want kids to strive for excellence, but we also want them to achieve moral excellence. Together, it will work. You see, character development of boys and girls, the character of your school is about common sense. But as we've said so many times, common sense is not common anymore. Let's work on our character.